Hello CNC family. I'm going to show you another cool little trick here that might help some people out. Have you ever had a design similar to this where the weight here isn't going to be evenly distributed if I come up here and just randomly throw a hole? If this was a rectangle, I could just measure between here and here. I could align and distribute, snap my hole to the center, and it's going to hang nice and straight. But with this particular design, if I just slap a hole right in the center of this rectangular part, it's not going to hang nice and straight because I've got extra weight here where this is more solid. I've got extra pieces hanging over here off to the side. So there's no way to just guesstimate where's the center of the weight going to be. I want this to hang nice and straight, and this design is only 10 inches high. I don't really want to pop multiple holes in it and put a bunch of holes in my wall. So how do I find, without experimenting, where to put my hole up here to hang this sign without just trial and error? The neat part is Inkscape has a tool for that. So with this path selected, if I come up here to extensions and go to visualize path, go to measure path, when you go to measure path, you're going to want to make sure this center of mass is selected, and then I just leave these set where they are and hit apply. And now what you're going to see that it did, now I can close this, it added this giant black plus on here. Well, what is that? And this, I don't particularly know why, but anytime I use this tool, it draws this is a stroke. This is two lines intersecting, and it draws them at a 1/2 inch stroke width. I don't know why that is. It's something in the default. Maybe you can figure out how to adjust that, but mine always comes in at a 1/2 inch. It's not really a big deal because the important part is I just want to be able to snap to this. But I usually, first I'll change the color of it to where I can see what's going on, and then I'll drop that down to the default line width that you use with the pen tool, which is 10 thousandths, so I can more easily see the center point there. Well, now what Inkscape has done is it's measured this path, and it's determined that that exact spot right there, if I put a hole right there, I should be able to spin this any direction and it balance itself on the wall. That's the center of the mass. Well, I don't want to put a hole right there in the very center. But now what I can do, now that I've found that, I can draw me a circle here. I'll go with 200 thousandths for a mounting hole. My ratio's locked, so that will give me a 200 thousandths by 200 thousandths hole. Now I'm going to take this, my snapping is turned on, and I want to snap this to the center of that. You can see there where it says object midpoint to smooth node. That's snapped right to the center of that little bullseye that Inkscape has given us. So now I don't need this anymore. I can click on this plus sign and hit backspace. Now what I want to do is I want to move this circle up, but I don't want to move it side to side, so I will just select it. You could either hit control and pull it up, that will keep you on a straight line. I'll just use the arrow tool and arrow this up to the top of this design somewhere in here, then I'll stop. Now I'm going to need a little extra meat here because if I can't just pop that hole there, there's not enough room. So what I'll do is I'll control D, I'll duplicate that, I'll turn the fill off by hitting this X, I'll turn the stroke on, and I'll set it to like gray so I can see it. Now I will set that to say 1/4 of an inch. That way I know I've got at least an 1/8 inch that's going to be left around that circle when it cuts out. So now I'll select that and I will go path, stroke to path. That's converted that to a path. Then you could either just come in here and delete these nodes with your node editing tool, or you could break that circle apart and union it. I'll just delete the nodes. Then I'll page that down one. So now you can see I have what's going to be my mounting hole, and I have this extra bit that I'm going to union to this design so that it's, I've got a border around my mounting hole. So now I can select them both. I'm going to drag that up till it touches right there. just so I know it's nice, it's even with the top. Now I can select that, select my main design, path, union. Then I can select this, select my main design at the same time, path, difference. Now I've added a mounting hole that should, when I cut this out, allow me to hang this design on the wall with one screw, one nail, and it should hang nice and straight the way it's supposed to, because I've found the center of the mass and moved that mounting hole directly up to where the weight should be nice and evenly distributed side to side. And that, for me, I find that very useful because, like I say, if this were a 24-inch tall sign, cool, you know, you could put 2 mounting holes in it, not a big deal. But on something this small, I really don't want to punch a bunch of holes in the wall, and I'd like it to hang nice and straight. So now I will take this out to the machine and I'll cut this out so we can show you what this does. So what's the point of all this? Here's our design we cut out. It's 10 inches tall. I've sanded it. Hang it here on this nail. And as you can see, when it stops moving around there, it hangs nice and straight the way it should. So that's just a quick, easy way to find the center mass, move it up, align your hole perfectly, and put your mounting hole to where your sign will hang nice and straight with only one mounting hole. You know, had I just tried to guess and say went off the center of this rectangular part, as you can see, it would have hung crooked. Had I tried to overcompensate and go this way a little more because of the extra material over here, it would have hung crooked. So using that technique to find the center mass and putting the mounting hole right in the middle enables you to put one mounting hole and hang your sign nice and straight, regardless of the fact this isn't a perfectly symmetrical design and you have a little extra material hanging over here. So that's just a neat way to do that. You know, if this had been a 24-inch sign, then you could probably just throw 2 mounting holes on it and you wouldn't have to worry about the center of mass, because with 2 mounting holes you can hang it straight. But on a smaller design, being able to just put one hole so you don't have to take away from the design and don't have to put a bunch of holes in your wall, it's a good tip. Hopefully that helps some people out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.